Okay, so this is my concept map, and I started with MCE in the middle, which stands for Multicultural Education, and we had our 8 questions on the side, and I kind of went through and answered each of them, and I put it in this smaller thing. So for example, one of the questions is how do I view and magnify those I teach? So at the beginning I was thinking, well, one of the most important things is to look at each child with love and try to figure out how to help them succeed. But at the beginning of the semester, I wasn't entirely sure how to help each child individually. There was a lot of ideas that I had, but not in specific. So throughout the semester, I was able to add on to it and come up with, in yellow I have my principles over here, that I was able to learn about how I could actually answer each of these questions and what were some actual things I could do. So for example, going on how do I view and magnify those I teach, I learned that some of the principles that we can use is like love and encouraging progression. So throughout this semester, I looked for a few ways to do that, and I came up with some examples and put them in green. For example, like every day choose 2 students to pray for before I go to bed, or having a class discussion as often as possible and letting each of the students share their ideas. Multicultural education itself, I learned a lot about as well. I learned that there are 2 different types and a lot of different theories out there. So I started making, towards the bottom of my concept map, I have a bunch of theories that I have learned about, and some of them I agree with or don't agree with, and some of them make sense and some of them are kind of out there. But some of the theories, you have your deficit theories, you have your economic and social reproduction theories, resistance theories, and some of them are a lot better, such as care theories, Nito's theory about how you can actually use multicultural education. And the theories end up going into 2 separate categories of multicultural education, and one is efficient and one is not. So more of our schools are monocultural, and so I connected all of the theories that were monocultural to another subcategory up here where I put monocultural education and kind of talked about what it was, because before I kind of viewed monocultural education as bad, but I didn't know all of the theories behind it or what it actually was. So monocultural education has a lot of different theories about how kids really don't have control over what they do. And it's kind of this idea that everybody is the same. I have a picture that I drew that kind of explains monocultural education in a way, and I drew chocolate. I love chocolate, and so you have 2 types of different chocolate. Most people like your Hershey bar square, and a lot of people may or may not like if you have like a Rolo or something around, and so some people think this tastes better and they will not accept the other. And monocultural is a lot like that. The teachers themselves don't want to accept students unless they are all the same and have the same ideas. They don't want to worry about working with each one individually. On the other hand, multicultural education is much better at taking all of the students and looking at them individually. And so there's a lot of things and a lot of principles that go with multicultural education. So I took multicultural education and looked at things that I could do to include it in my classroom someday. And a lot of these come with different theories or different ideas, and some of them such as inclusive classroom culture, meaning you're including everybody and looking at ways you can include them in everything. And so there's 5 different ways you can do this, including rules that make sense. You're having it's organized so everybody can contribute. You're evaluating them fairly. You're teaching good moral values that they agree with, and you're creating a sense of community for all of the students. So in the future, I hope to keep a lot of the ideas that I came up with to do that. For example, when I did my research, I came up with one idea and created a culture of it, a picture of it. And it's the idea that everyone is a teacher, including the parents and the kids. And everybody's also a learner. And so something I'd like to do in my classroom sometime is be able to invite the parents to come help their students teach the class itself about something that they actually know, a skill that the students are learning, or something about their culture or religion or beliefs. And so, for example, if a kid has a dad who's really good at science, you could invite them in to come and teach a chemistry lesson and have the parents be very involved in what their students are learning. Well, that's just a little bit of what I've learned about multicultural this year, and it has been a lot of fun. That's my concept map.